Please be seated. Good evening and welcome to the meeting. Please note these proceedings are being live streamed on the Council's YouTube channel. I now call upon the Chief Executive to read the notice convening this extraordinary meeting of the Council.
You are summoned to attend an extraordinary meeting of the Council of the City of Sunderland to be held in the Council Chamber, City Hall, Plater Way, Sunderland, on Wednesday, 11th of March 2026 at 6 p.m, at which it is proposed to consider and transact the business as set out in the agenda.
Canon Claire McLaren will now offer prayers. All please stand.
Let us pray. Loving Creator God, we thank you for the men and women who over many generations have made our city of Sunderland to flourish and prosper. We thank you for the makers and thinkers, the entrepreneurs and innovators, the reformers and campaigners, and those who have cared for her poorest and most vulnerable. As we gather today to honour and pay tribute to the life's work of Paul Callahan and Sister Mary Immaculata, we acknowledge all that they have accomplished in the service of our city and of her people. We give you thanks for the passion and compassion which has fueled all that they have accomplished. We rejoice in the richness of the music, arts and culture of our city, praying blessing on all who work in that sector and in all the businesses that make for the thriving city centre. And we pray for the Port of Sunderland, for the seafarers and other workers based there, especially those who are far from home or who work in hard and dangerous situations. As we give thanks for Sister Mary and for Paul today, we pray that you would continue to raise up men and women of calibre who will make this proud city the very best that it can be. Amen.
Please be seated. Do any members of the Council have any declarations of interest? I'll take that as a no. The list of apologies for absence received from councillors has been displayed in the entrance to the council chamber. Are there any other apologies for absence not listed? No. Lord Lieutenant for Tyne and Wear, High Sheriff, honourable guests, councillors and members of the press and public. On behalf of my council colleagues, may I extend you all the warmest of welcomes to this notable civic occasion. The granting of the honorary freedom of the city is the highest honour the council can bestow upon those who have rendered eminent service to the city. It is therefore with particular pleasure that I welcome Sister Mary Scholastica and Paul Callahan. The proposal to confer the honorary freedom of the city upon Sister Mary Scholastica is in recognition of the example of commitment and achievement she sets in serving the community and seafarers at the Port of Sunderland, and in respect of Paul Callahan is in recognition of the commitment and achievement he sets in contributions to business, education and culture in the city. I could say a great deal more about Sister Mary and Paul's accomplishments, but we will soon be hearing from those members speaking in support of the nominations about why the nominees are both worthy recipients of the freedom of the city. My thanks to the Lord Lieutenant and the High Sheriff for their attendance, and I will also welcome the guests of the recipients who have been able to join us here today. I now call upon the leader of the council to move the first motion, which is in respect to Sister Mary. Michael.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the council admit Sister Mary Scholastica to be an honorary freeman of the city, in recognition of the example of commitment and achievement she sets in serving the community and the seafarers of the Port of Sunderland, and as an ambassador for Sunderland and a role model for young people in the city.
I now call upon Councillor Linda Scanlon to second the motion. I have received prior notice from Alderman Wood that he wishes to speak on this motion. Are there any other members who wish to speak on the motion to admit Sister Mary Scholastica to be an honorary freeman of the city?
Thank you, Councillor Jones, Councillor Hartnack, and Councillor Truman. Thank you.
Alderman Woods? Oh, apologies. The leader will speak first. Apologies, that's my fault.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Lord Lieutenant, High Sheriff, Mr. Mayor, honoured guests, councillors, friends, it is my absolute pleasure and privilege to move this evening that the honorary freedom of the City of Sunderland be conferred upon Sister Mary Scholastica. Sister Mary is, without exaggeration, one of the most loved, respected and quietly extraordinary figures in our city. Someone whose name has become synonymous with compassion, service and unwavering dedication. Her story begins in County Galway, Ireland, where at just 17 years of age, she made the profound decision to enter religious life. That calling brought her to Sunderland more than 63 years ago, joining the Sisters of Mercy at St Anthony's and beginning a lifetime of service that has touched thousands across our community. Although her commitment to Sunderland has taken many forms, it is her remarkable work with seafarers at the Port of Sunderland that stands as her most enduring legacy. In 2008, recognising both the hardship and isolation faced by visiting sailors, Sister Mary transformed a disused sea cadet facility into a warm, welcoming mission in partnership with the Apostleship of the Sea and the City Council. For nearly 2 decades, that centre has offered food, warmth and internet access, pastoral support and friendship, regardless of nationality, background or faith. To countless seafarers, she has been not just a volunteer or a host, but a lifeline. Many arrive tired, far from home, thousands of miles from their families. What they find at Sister Mary's mission is not simply a warm drink or a hot meal. It is dignity, humanity and a warm welcome. And for many, she is the first friendly face they have seen in many weeks. I'm not sure what that tells you about their crewmates, Mr. Mayor. Her work has been rightly recognised far beyond our city. She has received a papal blessing for her missionary service and in 2023 was honoured by the Merchant Navy Welfare Board for her exceptional contribution to the welfare of seafarers and the City of Sunderland. But Sister Mary's compassion extends far beyond the Port of Sunderland. She supported the homeless, raised over $250,000 for respite care for children, and worked with schools, parishes, community groups and the Catholic Women's Guild to provide gifts, toiletries and donations to those in need. Her ability to inspire generosity in others is one of her greatest gifts. Across generations, across faiths, across the city, her kindness has left a mark that will never fade. Sister Mary embodies the very best of Sunderland. Quiet, strength, deep compassion, tireless service and a commitment to the community that spans more than 6 decades. It is only right that the city she has given so much to now honours her in return. And so, Mr Mayor, I am delighted and deeply honoured to move that the freedom of the City of Sunderland be conferred upon Sister Mary Scholastica. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader. Councillor Scanlon, would you like to speak to the motion?
Thank you. My Lord Lieutenant, High Sheriff, Mr Mayor, honoured guests and councillors. I'm sorry if a few of the things that I say now are repeated from what Michael has said, but here I go. I'm going to tell your story now. So it's both an honour and a privilege to recommend that this council confers the freedom of the city upon Sister Mary Scholastica in recognition of her extraordinary service to the City of Sunderland, particularly to our port and the many seafarers who arrive on its shores. Through her dedication, compassion and tireless commitment, Sister Mary has made an immeasurable contribution to our community and represents the very best of spirit of public service that we celebrate today. Sister Mary, as she is warmly known to all who meet her, was born in the town of Gort in County Galway, the west of Ireland, on the 18th of May 1940. She was the eldest of 4 children, born to loving parents, John and Mary Nolan. She grew up on the family farm, which I know she absolutely loved, surrounded by the care and values instilled by her devoted parents. In 1958, just 17 years of age, she left Ireland to join the convent of the Sisters of Mercy here in Sunderland. That decision, made nearly 70 years ago, would begin a lifetime of service to our city. From her earliest years in Sunderland, Sister Mary dedicated herself to helping those most in need. She worked with the homeless, supported organisations such as Mind and the Salvation Army, and helped young people and children in care. She also provided religious instruction and guidance to those seeking faith and comfort. Her compassion extended to visiting the sick, the elderly, and those nearing the end of their lives, offering prayer, kindness, reassurance to them and their families in their most difficult moments. During the miners' strikes, Sister Mary became deeply concerned about the hardship many local families were experiencing. Seeing people struggle to put food on the table, she decided, in her own words, to roll up her sleeves and get stuck in. You can tell I've spent days with her, can't you? She was worked with Mind and the Salvation Army and established a food station to ensure that families in need could receive support and nourishment. Her faith guided her through these challenges, always believing that the Lord will provide. That was her favourite saying. After more than 4 decades of service within the community, Sister Mary began to think about how she could continue helping those in need in a new way. Initially, she hoped to create a centre for the homeless in Sunderland. However, events soon led her towards a different mission. She was approached by Peter Barrington, who asked her whether something could be done to support the seafarers arriving in the port of Sunderland. At that time, there was very little provision existing for them. Many of these men and women, far from home for months at a time, simply needed basic comforts such as warm clothing. The conversation marked the beginning of a very new, important chapter. Throughout 2004, Sister Mary met with port staff and ship's captains to better understand the needs of visiting crews. She realised that to help them properly, she would need a place of welcome and support. At first, she imagined a simple porter cabin, but then the idea gained momentum. She's smiling now. Word spread through the community, people offered their support, donations began to arrive, and the project slowly came to life. During a visit to the port, Sister Mary discovered a derelict building that had once been used by the Sea Cadets. Where others might have seen this as a neglected structure, Sister Mary saw this as an opportunity. With the help of dedicated volunteers, the building was transformed and given a new purpose. Sister Mary named it Stella Maris, Star of the Sea. Stella Maris soon became a true home from home for seafarers visiting Sunderland. It is a place built on kindness, compassion and generosity. Seafarers are able to contact their families through internet access, receive warm clothing and toiletries, enjoy small treats and gifts, and most importantly, finding a welcome place to rest. There is also a quiet place where they can pray and reflect. Over the years, Sister Mary has supported crews from more than 1,000 ships visiting the port. She often says that there is no port anywhere in the world that looks after seafarers quite like Stella Maris here in the city of Sunderland. As the port continues to grow and prosper, Sister Mary's mission continues alongside it, driven by her unwavering dedication. More recently, Sister Mary's remarkable story has been shared through a book, You Raise Me Up, written by Joyce and Kevin Lilly. It tells the story of her life and her many years of service to the people of Sunderland. Many here today will already have read it, received copies, and copies have even been sent to His Majesty the King and His Holiness the Pope. During 2019, during my year as Mayor of Sunderland, I nominated Sister Mary for recognition through the Office of the Lord Lieutenant. She was awarded a British Empire Medal, but characteristically, she declined the honour. Sister Mary felt that such recognition should not be about her alone, and any recognition she believed should acknowledge everyone who supported her in her work and helped make her mission possible. She has asked that it be said today that she accepts the freedom of the city of Sunderland on behalf of all of those people who have walked alongside her throughout the many years of service to this community and to the seafarers who visit our port. It is therefore my great honour to second the proposal of this council that we confer the freedom of the city upon our very own Angel of Mercy, Sister Mary Scholastica. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Scanlon. Alderman Wood, would you like to speak? Would you like to come to the podium to speak? Thank you.
My Lord Lieutenant, High Sheriff, Mr Mayor, honoured guests and councillors. I'm happy to support this motion this evening. Sister Mary is a very worthy nominee for the honour. She has already devoted more than 60 years to mission, and she's not finished yet. She radiates a sense of peace, tranquility, and profound deep faith. A force of nature she's been described as, always busy and doing something to help somebody. She has been described variously as Sunderland's Angel of Mercy, a powerhouse of prayer, and the Mother Teresa of Sunderland. She has welcomed seafarers at the port from around the world, from different backgrounds and denominations and nationalities. And what Sister offers is service with a smile, with a big, open heart. All are welcomed with a cup of tea and something to eat. Sister Mary, as we've been told, was born Mary Nolan in May 1940 in the township of Gort in Galway in the west of Ireland. She was the eldest daughter of 4 children. Brought up on her parents' farm overlooking a lovely lake and the view of the Burren Mountains in the distance, she was always busy as a child, and indeed as busy ever since. Her early life at home with her parents and family were the basis for her calling to the religious life. And in 1958, at the age of 17, she joined the convent of the Sisters of Mercy, Oakley Convent, Tunstall Road near St Anthony's School. And the move from Galway to Sunderland was a huge change for her, but her enthusiasm and passion have stayed with her all those years. Matthew Hunt, the port director, is on record as describing Sister as a one-off, a tireless worker, a constant support, and passionate city ambassador. We're incredibly lucky and grateful to have her. She has made a major contribution over the years to the work of the sisters at the convent, but she's best known to us for her work in the community with Stella Maris and the Seafarers Mission at the port. There she has arranged masses, both on board ship and on land, help with taxi transport for the seafarers, provision of toiletries and other useful items, and help facilitate computer and internet access so the sailors keep in touch with their families and their homes. Never one to take no for an answer, Sister Mary can talk people into anything, and she's rarely speechless. I'm happy, Mr. Mayor, to be able to support the nomination. Thank you.
Councillor Beth Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, honoured guests, friends and members of our Sunderland community, today we gather for a truly special occasion, one that allows us to celebrate a life devoted to compassion, service and the unwavering commitment to helping others. It is my privilege to stand here tonight to support the motion that the City of Stowe bestows one of its highest honours, the freedom of the city, upon Sister Mary Scholastica. So this honour is reserved for individuals whose contributions have shaped the very heart and soul of our city, and few names embody that spirit more deeply than Sister Mary. For decades, you have served Sunderland with humility, kindness, and extraordinary dedication. In your vocation, you have walked alongside people in times of need, offered comfort in moments of hardship, and lived your life by the principles of service, dignity, and compassion. Whether supporting vulnerable families, nurturing young people, comforting the sick, or working tirelessly within the community, you have been a steady, gentle, and inspiring presence. What makes you so remarkable is not simply the work you have done, but the way that you've done it. You have not led with authority, but with empathy. You've inspired so many, not with grand speeches, but with quiet acts of kindness that have changed lives. Your service has been deeply rooted in love for people, love for your community, and love for Sunderland. Your impact cannot be measured in buildings or programmes. It lives in the thousands of small, profound moments where you made someone feel seen, supported, and valued. It lived in the generations who learned from your example. It lives in the community you helped to strengthen. One person, one conversation, one act of compassion at a time. You've shown us what true service looks like. Steady, humble, unwavering. You've given your life to the people of this city, and in doing so, you have shaped its character in ways that will be felt for many years to come. Today, we honour not just your achievements, but your spirit, your generosity, your faith, both spiritual and in the goodness of people, and your lifelong commitment to lifting others up. Sister Mary, on behalf of the people of Sunderland, thank you. Thank you for your compassion, your dedication, your leadership, and your love. Thank you for showing us every single day what it means to live a life of service. I am delighted that today this motion speaks in support of you receiving the freedom of the city, which is a symbol of gratitude, respect, and admiration that this city holds for you. So congratulations, Sister Mary Scholastica. You've given yourself so much of yourself to Sunderland, and today we give our highest honour in return. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hartnack.
Mr Mayor, colleague councillors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is both a privilege and a joy to gather here today for a moment of deep significance in the life of our city. The celebration of the freedom of the city being bestowed upon Sister Scholastica. The freedom of the city is among the highest honours that a city can grant, and historically it recognised those who had earned the trust and gratitude of the people. Today it continues that tradition by celebrating individuals whose lives of service, compassion and dedication have enriched the community they call home. Sister Mary Scholastica is one such person. My first career was that of a marine engineer, a seagoing officer in the Merchant Navy, and I was privileged as a young man to serve on British-owned ships and travel to many parts of the world. The conditions on board those ships in which I served were excellent. We wanted for nothing. But I witnessed with my own eyes the dire conditions which many seafarers had to endure while serving on many foreign-owned vessels in particular. Many of those shipping companies are still operating today, and the conditions, I can assure you, have barely changed for some. Some of those very ships arrive from time to time here in Sunderland, and Sister Mary and her dedicated work with the Stella Maris Seafarers Centre provides almost single-handedly a huge welcome to ships and their companies, providing warmth, personal supplies of clothing, toiletries, as well as internet access and extended invitation to address spiritual needs and practice of faith to those who request it. Additionally, and for many years, she has quietly and faithfully served the people of Sunderland. Through her work in education, pastoral care, and community outreach, she has touched the lives of countless individuals, young and old, families and neighbours, both in times of joy and in times of hardship. Her vocation has never been about recognition. Rather, it has been about service, with humility, patience, and deep compassion. Sister Mary has embodied the very best values of community life: kindness, generosity, and an unwavering commitment to the dignity of every person she comes into contact with. Across Sunderland, there are countless peoples whose lives have been shaped and changed by her guidance, strengthened by her encouragement, comforted by her presence. In schools, parishes, and community spaces, she has offered not only leadership, but also warmth, wisdom, and hope. Cities are not defined exclusively by buildings or roads and landmarks. They're defined by the people who dedicate themselves to making them better places to live. Sister Mary has done exactly that. Her work has strengthened the fabric of the community and helped foster the spirit of care and love across this city. Today's honour, therefore, recognises not only a lifetime of service, but also the profound and lasting impact that Sister Mary has had on this city and its people. By granting her the freedom of the city, Sunderland expresses its deepest gratitude. It is a way of saying that her contributions are valued, her example is admired, and her legacy will remain an enduring part of the story of this city. Sister Mary Scholastica, through your dedication, compassion, and faith-filled service, you have given so much to Sunderland. Today, the city is proud to honour you. On behalf of the people of Sunderland, it is my great pleasure to congratulate you on this well-deserved recognition, and I support the motion, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hartnack. Councillor Harry Truman.
Lord Lieutenant, High Sheriff, Mr. Mayor, honoured guests, good evening. I'm pleased that the speakers before me have explained and given a bit of a flavour to what Sister Mary has achieved, and she'll achieve more. She'll not give up. I was delighted to meet Sister Mary many, many years ago when I was a British telecom engineer working in the port. I used to service particularly the warships when they came in, and there was a greasy spoon calf down on the dock all them years ago, which I and my colleague enjoyed having a steak pie or a mince and dumplings or whatever. And I got to know what Sister Mary was doing, and as has been said, she helps particularly seafarers who come into our port with anything they need. Woolly hats, scarves, socks, toiletries, whatever they need. But I think the most important thing is friendship, and that's what she gives them. And of course, when you see some of the crew that's on these ships, they're not treated as well as some of the other lines, and of course Sister Mary's there. And I believe she managed to get Wi-Fi fitted into the port, into the dock, where these guys can, or possibly even ladies in some case, can actually phone home. So tonight, it's a privilege for me, and I haven't had my hug yet, which I always get when we meet, but I'm sure I'll get one later. It's an honour to be here tonight to support this motion, because you well deserve, Sister Mary. Enjoy the night, and I'll speak to you later.
Thank you so much, Councillor Truman. Sister Mary, I haven't known you maybe as long as some of my other colleagues. I've had the privilege of being introduced to you by my good friend and Mayoress Councillor Scanlon. You are an incredible, extraordinary person. And you should always remember that. I can see you're blushing a bit. I know you're a very humble person. I know we had to drag you in here kicking and screaming, but but you truly deserve it. You've been extremely kind to me in my time in office, but you've also made an extraordinary contribution to my charity, and it's something I'll never forget. So thank you so much, Sister Mary. Does Council agree to admit Sister Mary Scholastica as an honorary freeman of the city? I declare the motion carried, and I invite Sister Mary to sign the freeman's roll. Sister Mary, would you like to join me? Congratulations, Sister Mary. I welcome you to the role of Honorary Freeman of Sunderland. Sister Mary has asked that Ed Hansen respond on her behalf. Therefore, I would like to invite Ed to come forward.
My name is Ed Hansen, and I work for the BBC. I've been asked by Sister Mary Scholastica to read her speech out for her. And as we all know, you don't say no to Sister Mary.
Thank you, Ed.
This is a very emotional night, covering 85 years of her life. Sister Mary Scholastica is Sunderland's good servant, but is God's servant first. I'd like to thank Sunderland City Council for the unanimous vote of support given to me in being awarded the Freeman of the City. Like all other honours I've been given, I received them on behalf of the people of Sunderland. All my guests here tonight represent thousands of dedicated persons who've supported me over many years, starting with my sister, Anne Connolly, who represents her family and my blood sister, Teresa, relatives and friends. My niece, Mary and John Flannery, represent my Irish faith and farming community. My niece, Anita and Will Mundo, represent family, relatives and friends who supported my mercy missions worldwide. Kevin and Joyce Lilly, authors of the book You Raised Me Up. Their outstanding dedication and support have truly recognised my missionary work in the community. They've embraced my lifetime goal to recognise and thank everyone who supported me in delivering my work for the community in the northeast of England, Ireland, and worldwide. Sister Mary Adrienne represents Sunderland Sisters of Mercy, Mercy International worldwide, including Sister Mary Elizabeth O'Connor, London and the Little Sisters of the Poor. Father John Clark represents Sunderland priests, all chaplains and missionary priests, and Sunderland's East End community. Father Andrew Jones represents St Ignatius, St Chad's, and all Anglican denominations and schools. Andy Hayes represents Pauline Waters, all SVP organisations, the Sunderland Lions, Catanians, Rotary, Inner Wheel, Salvation Army, Sunderland Mind, and Marion and Bob from the Columbia Centre in Washington. Barbara Hughes represents dedicated Legion of Mary members who supported the spiritual life of Roman Catholic parishes since 1930, working alongside the priests and Society of St. Vincent de Paul, that was founded in Sunderland in 1847, for both corporal and spiritual works of mercy. Jimmy Yule represents Sunderland and Newcastle Hospitals, Sunderland Hospice, and the former children's facility at the Eden Valley Hospice in Carlisle, who supported families with very sick children, such as Nina. Captain Baber Abidi represents Sunderland Port, pilots, port control, port security, Odin shipping, and council workers. He's also the representative at the Regional Merchant Navy Seafarers Welfare meetings. Margaret Long represents Sunderland and Washington Roman Catholic parishes and women's guilds. Margaret Bagley represents County Durham parishes and individuals like Sheila Ward. Rest in peace. Her teacher, colleague, and Sheila's blood sister, Sister Mary Hilda. Agnes Foreman represents English family relations and relatives of Sister Mary. Leanne Peart, head teacher at St John Bosco Roman Catholic Primary School, representing all schools, but especially for the support given to the homeless and Seamen's projects. Angela Andrews, daughter-in-law of the late Captain Joseph Andrews, a Sunderland war hero of World War I, who served his country by joining the Merchant Navy. A merchant seaman.
I'd like to say something there. I'm being honoured today, but I would like to remember all the wonderful Sunderland people who went abroad and did work like I did in other countries. And Captain Andrews, it's only coming to light now thanks to Dr. Scott from the university, who has discovered his life story. And I think there's many more people connected with that. And I would like you to give you to support to these people and to put something in their memory. And that would be, I'm looking forward to do something like that. They did tremendous work abroad. He was a merchant seaman, then he went into the merchant navy, and he worked in the navy. He was honoured, I forget now, medal. And then after that, he went back to merchant seafaring. And then during the time in Spain, he brought a Sunderland ship 4 times to Spain, to the north of Spain, to bring them food and that. And then eventually the ship was bulleted and that. So this is very important to me at the moment. I'm being very honoured and canonised by everybody here. But I'm always I'm also taking it in the name of everybody who has helped me, from my parents upward. Everybody has touched me, and there have been many. But I would like you, we will work on something on that, to remember good Sunderland people who have done, like myself, tremendous work abroad. And I would like something to done in their memory. And that. And it actually, with me doing merchant seafaring, I would like that connected. Yeah, right then.
It's me again. Tony Corcoran represents the Tyneside Irish Centre and has total dedication to all aspects of Irish culture, history, literature, music, song and dance. I'd also like to acknowledge the support of Diane Erskine from the Mill Dam Centre in South Shields, who is not here this evening, but for the great support she provided to me when I was setting up the Seamen's Mission at the Port of Sunderland. It is fitting that I should also acknowledge the inspiration and support given to me by the late Neil Mearns from Port Security in establishing the mission. He encouraged me to be positive in dealing with the press and how the media could support my mission. I like the sound of Neil. My sincere thanks to the Sunderland Echo and all publications for their press features over many years. Thanks from Sister of the Sea to The Tablet, who highlighted Sea City Sunderland in 2018. Heartfelt thanks to Councillor Linda Scanlon, my invaluable link with Sunderland Council. Thanks to Ed Hansen, that's me, producer-director of BBC Sea Cities, and also to Carol Malia and the team at Look North, who highlighted our city worldwide. After Matthew Hunt, the port director, invited me to the 300th anniversary celebration, I really felt part of the port team. In a follow-up press release, he said, "Sister Scholastica is a one-off, a tireless worker, a constant support, and a passionate city ambassador. We're incredibly lucky and grateful to have her. She's turned Stella Maris into a haven for seafarers, and it's a truly heartwarming sight to see her marching along the port. Her efforts never fail to impress the crews and have made her a popular fixture at the port." Councillor Harry Truman has also got a quote here. Harry, I think there's a hug coming later, I understand. This is what Harry said. "The work of Sister Scholastica at the port sums up our city and its intentions. As an age-friendly city, we ensure people of all ages feel welcomed and included. Sister greets seafarers from around the world and shows them that she's as tech-savvy as the next. There is a wonderful message of warmth and welcome being extended." On the night of the 9th of June 2025, following the book launch, I retired to prepare the Thanksgiving for the following day. On checking my emails, I discovered one from a gentleman named Jason Zedema, who wished to obtain a copy of my book. After arranging to send one to his home in Canada, I was so humbled to discover that a man of his stature did not just contact me, but produced a marvellous review of the book and has incorporated many of my ideas from the port mission into an online course for ship visitors. Dr. Jason Zedema is Executive Director of the North American Maritime Ministry Association. He's the General Secretary of the International Christian Maritime Association and produced the Ship Welfare Visitor course online for the UK's Merchant Navy Welfare Board. Here are a few quotes from his review of Sister Mary's book, You Raise Me Up. "The story of a woman who quietly transformed her community through decades of unwavering service. The proceeds from the book go to the Friends of Sunderland Seamen's Mission, further reinforcing that this is not just a retrospective, but an ongoing story of care. The book offers inspiration for anyone committed to seafarers' welfare, showing how a life of ordinary faithfulness can quietly echo with extraordinary impact. May I once again thank the City of Sunderland for this very special award. I will not be taking the scroll home with me, as I'd like it to go into the Sunderland archives. In conclusion, music, as highlighted in the title of the book, has been very special in my life. I've shared many happy moments with my nephew Kieran and Kevin, one of the authors. Perhaps I can close with the words from a special hymn. O Lord, my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the works thy hands have made. That's the end of Sister Mary's acceptance response. It's been an absolute privilege for me, like I'm sure many of you here today, to meet and get to know Sister Mary Scholastica. I know you shouldn't have favourites, but she is without doubt my favourite interviewee in over 30 years in journalism, even though I never got a straight or short answer. And I can't think of anyone more worthy of this award today. It's been an honour to read this personal response on her behalf. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks.
Thank you, Ed, for your words on behalf of Sister Mary. I will now call upon the leader to move the second motion as set in the notice convening the meeting. Councillor Michael Modi.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I move that Council admit Paul Callahan to be an honorary freeman of the City in recognition of the example of commitment and achievement he sets in contributing to business, education and culture, and as an ambassador for Sunderland and a role model for young people in the city. Thank you.
I now call upon Councillor Kelly Checker to second the motion. I have received prior notice from Councillor Dixon that he wishes to speak on this motion. Are there any other members who wish to speak on the motion to admit Paul Callahan to be an honorary freeman of the city?
Yeah. Councillor Jones, Councillor Truman.
Leader, would you like to speak to the motion?
My Lord Lieutenant, High Sheriff, Mr Mayor, honoured guests, councillors and friends. It is again my great pleasure and privilege to move this evening that the honorary freedom of the City of Sunderland be conferred upon Paul Callahan. Born and raised in Sunderland, Paul's career has been shaped by a deep commitment to this city. After graduating from the London School of Economics, he established himself as an economist and academic before applying his expertise to build one of Sunderland's most successful and forward-looking business groups. As co-founder and the chair of the Leighton Group, Paul has been instrumental in developing a network of digital, software and media companies that have helped establish Sunderland as a centre of technological innovation. His belief in nurturing talent and creating opportunity has contributed to more resilient local economies and a stronger regional skills base. Paul's influence has extended well beyond his own organisation, through his leadership roles, including Chair of the Sunderland Economic Leadership Board, Chair of Business Link, Chair of the Sunderland Software City and Chair of One North East. He has championed growth, investment and strategic planning across the wider North East, ensuring that Sunderland's voice is heard and its potential is recognised. Education has also benefited enormously from Paul's leadership. As Chairman of the University of Sunderland for 12 years, he oversaw significant milestones, including national recognition for student experience, international expansion through the Hong Kong campus, and the creation of the award-winning Living Lab. His strategic guidance helped shape a university that is ambitious, impactful and deeply connected to its city. Mr Mayor, Paul's contribution to enterprise, economic development and higher education has strengthened Sunderland's foundations for future generations. His vision and commitment have left an enduring mark on our city, and it is therefore with great pride that I move that the freedom of the City of Sunderland be conferred upon Paul Callahan. Thank you.
Councillor Kelly Checker, would you like to speak to the motion?
My Lord Lieutenant, High Sheriff, Mr Mayor, honoured guests, councillors and friends, it is my absolute pleasure and privilege to second the proposal to confer the honorary Freedom of the City of Sunderland upon Paul Callahan. Paul's contribution to the cultural and civic life of our city is extraordinary, and I can only hope to pay appropriate tribute to his service to our city here today. His dedication to widening access to the arts, strengthening community engagement, and transforming Sunderland's cultural identity has had a profound and lasting impact on residents of our city, young and old. But Paul is not just a role model for the young people in our city now. His work has strengthened Sunderland's future and the life of our future generations. Through the Mac Trust, Cultural Spring and the establishment of Sunderland Culture, Paul has played a central role in delivering tens of millions of pounds in cultural investment in our city. These endeavours have brought world-class programming to local communities and supported the development of creative talent across the city. The fantastic fire station, now a vibrant cultural landmark and a strong favourite venue of mine, is a symbol, a powerful symbol of this work and of Paul's belief in culture as a driver of renewal and aspiration. Culturally, Paul's philanthropy has also had an incredible impact. Through the Mac Trust, as well as the aforementioned fantastic fire station, he has also breathed new life into historic venues in our city, such as the Peacock and the Dun Cow. And of course, more recently, through this fantastic work, Paul has cemented Sunderland's status as a music city, putting our city's incredible music scene on the same stage as the likes of Berlin and Sydney. I could not be more grateful for this. But not stopping there. Amazingly, he has also stepped up efforts to tackle child poverty in our city through events such as the wonderful Music Against Child Poverty Live and the regional Dynamo Tech charity dinner, both of which have helped raise vital funding to create an equal playing field for young people across the region. Paul's commitment to civic service is equally notable. His tenure as High Sheriff of Tyne and Wear showcased his dedication to supporting our wonderful voluntary groups, strengthening community cohesion and championing causes that matter deeply to our local people. He has consistently used his platform to promote fairness and opportunity and pride in Sunderland. Beyond his formal roles, Paul is well known for his generosity, but also his humility and his unwavering loyalty to this, his home city. He has given his time, his expertise, and his support to countless organisations, always with the goal of helping Sunderland thrive. His leadership style, which is rooted in collaboration, compassion, and long-term vision, has earned him the respect of partners across the region. Mr. Mayor, Paul's influence on the cultural vibrancy, community spirit, and civic life of Sunderland is absolutely remarkable. His work has touched the lives of so many, and I know will continue to shape those lives and shape our city for years to come. For these reasons, Mr. Mayor, I am extremely proud to second the proposal that the freedom of the City of Sunderland be conferred upon Paul Callahan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Checker. Councillor Dixon.
Mr. Mayor, honoured guests and councillors, it gives me great pleasure on behalf of the Conservative group of councillors to support the conferring of the honorary freedom of the city to Paul Callahan. And as Conservative councillors, we also must thank him because we have our annual Christmas party at the engine room. And after an excruciating 3 hours of debate, we always are hot foot off to the engine room for a welcome pint of Star O'Pramen. So thank you very much indeed. And by coincidence, I also enjoyed the excellent presentation of 100 Years of Laurel and Hardy at the fire station last night. And if Paul is out to make Sunderland people happy, he certainly did last night, because about 400 or 500 people of my age group in their 70s watched Laurel and Hardy, introduced by Neil Brand, the film historian. It was a silent movie. It was 24,000 pies were apparently thrown at each other in that particular film. And grown men, my age group, were in hysterics. Mainly men, I have to add. Don't know why men, Laurel and Hardy. But so thank you, Paul, because you made Sunderland people happy last night, and it was great. And that's just one example. But on a serious note, I'd like to emphasise that from the very outset, when this honour was proposed by the majority Labour group, we as Conservative councillors have been very supportive of the proposal, fully acknowledging its significance and how deserving it is. I like to chat to people, and Alderman Wood usually drags me into a bar after a long meeting. Very reluctantly, I go with him. And I like to find out what overseas people think of Sunderland. I've lived here all my life. And I remember once we had a period of about a month or two, and we met a German lady and an Egyptian man. And I asked them about Sunderland, and this is about 10, 12 years ago. And I asked them why, apart from the course, they came to the university. And the answer was, it was by the sea. So city by the sea has always been there. And then I asked them about their impression of Sunderland. And they were very taken with the friendliness of the people. But after that, there was a bit of a shrug of the shoulders and also a sympathetic smile. Since that time, Paul Callahan has played a massive part with his enterprise and imagination to fill the void that existed in the centre of Sunderland around that time, with a building of which we can be rightly proud, the fire station and the engine room, supplementing with its very carefully considered architectural design many outstanding structures nearby, such as the Minster, the Empire, Duncow and the Peacock. The fire station has played a massive part in creating a remarkable area of culture and social gatherings, a real asset to the city that bridges the gap between the larger permanent venues like the Sunderland Empire and the smaller ones such as the Independent and the Royal Theatre. A show at the fire station generally means that the nearby restaurants are busy, the hotels too, thereby boosting the economy of Sunderland and making the whole area one of vitality. It enhances Sunderland's reputation regionally, nationally and internationally. I do not know many people who have not been to a show at the fire station, and many of my colleagues are regular attendees. I'm going to do a certain amount of self-indulgence here because I'm going to name a few of the acts that I've been to see and also that other people have seen or are going to see. So I've seen tribute bands to the Moody Blues, Simon and Garfunkel, saw the Tiger Came to Tea, with my grandson, I might add, and daughter, illustrating the venue brings people of all ages through its doors. Saw the great Dutch guitarist Jan Akkerman, and I had a chat with Paul during the interval. There's not many people who know what I'm talking about when I mention Focus, but there we go. That was from the 70s, and shared an evening with, along with several hundred people, of the last surviving member of the 1966 World Cup winning team, Geoff Hurst. People I know are going to see, I think it's April, Fairport Convention, again, back to the 60s. There's been a talk by an undercover detective, the streaming of theatre productions from the West End, tribute bands for Fleetwood Mac, Dire Straits, the Eagles, plus the ultimate classic rock show. The list is endless. And meanwhile, the top floors of the Northern Academy of Music Education, a higher education facility in partnership with the University of Sunderland, is there, which equips young people with the skills to enter a career in music, while nearby the Peacock has music studios on the upper floor. With his vision, Paul Callahan, as the chair of Music, Arts and Culture, have established, way back in 2012, the Mac Trust, a catalyst for cultural activity in the city, with projects like the Cultural Spring, which brings arts to people's doorsteps, and the free Summer Street festivals, which have become an annual highlight of the city's events calendar and more. And Sunderland's recognition as a music city is a significant milestone for Sunderland, marking its official membership in the Global Cities Network, joining Manchester and overseas cities such as Sydney, Brussels, Valencia and Berlin. This recognition is a testament to the Sunderland's music heritage, for which we must give a more than passing tribute to Jeff Doherty from way back, and its ongoing commitment to nurturing the city's dynamic music and fostering a robust creative economy. Paul must take massive credit for this recognition. So to conclude, we celebrate what you have achieved for the people of Sunderland of all age groups. And it is especially significant that you are a local person who clearly has a love of Sunderland as your guiding light. I hope the support we as a group of councillors have shown tonight to bestow on you this honour is a clear indication of the respect we have for the massive input you have made to Sunderland, and hopefully will continue to do so. On behalf of my Conservative colleagues, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Councillor Dixon. Councillor Beth Jones.
Honoured guests, colleagues, friends and members of our wider Sunderland family, as we gather for a moment of immense pride, both for this city and for a man whose life and work have helped shape its modern identity, it is my honour and privilege to stand here today in support of the motion to confer the freedom of the city upon the one and only Paul Callahan. Once met, never forgotten. This honour is not given lightly. It is reserved for those whose dedication, leadership and service have left a lasting legacy. Some people may not know it, but Paul is an esteemed author, having written books including the history of Sunderland Football Club. And I hope tonight you're inspired to write a future book on the story of Sunderland's contemporary cultural, economic and creative transformation, because your name will be written in most, if not all, of the chapters. So Paul is known to many as a successful businessman and as a tireless champion of innovation and enterprise. To others, he is known as someone who not only loves to watch pantomimes, but to also write them as well, some of which I'm told are very topical, and that there might even be people in the chamber tonight who featured in the pantomimes over the years, but I'll just leave it at that. Well, tonight, Paul, you are certainly the good guy, because what truly sets you apart is not simply what you have built, it is that you have chosen to give back to our city. So for decades, Paul, you've used your platform to lift others, whether through your leadership of the Mac Trust, helping to bring to life the fire station and the cultural quarter, your commitment to education, skills and opportunity, and your work to attract investment and talent to our city, and also your active role in ensuring Sunderland achieved Music City status, which was absolutely fantastic achievement. So your vision has always been bigger than any one project. You believe in Sunderland, you believe in our city, you believe in our people, and you've worked tirelessly to see our potential recognised, appreciated, and most importantly, realised. You've been one of the most strongest and consistent voices for Sunderland, and you create, you innovate, and that you dare to imagine something better. At every stage, you have shown that civic leadership, what it should look like, not because you sought recognition, but because you saw what this city could be, and you rolled up your sleeves to help make it happen. And what stands out is the people who are with you, or the people you bring with you on the journey, the likes of Graham, Michelle, Marty, Frankie, and so many more people that you meet day in and day out. You listen, you collaborate, you champion others. Your impact is not just measured in buildings, businesses, or investments, but in the countless lives that you've touched, the opportunities that you've opened, and the community you have strengthened. And so today we recognise not just a lifetime of achievement, but a lifetime of service, a lifetime of dedication to the city you call home, a lifetime of believing, even when things were difficult, that Sunderland deserves the very best. Paul, on behalf of the people of this great city, thank you. Thank you for your passion. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your generosity and your unwavering belief in who we are and what we can become. I'm delighted that the freedom of the city, hopefully, will be bestowed upon you as a symbol of our gratitude, our respect, and our lasting recognition of everything that you have done and continue to do. You've left an indelible mark on our city and our community. So finally, just congratulations. This city is very, very proud of you, and today we are prouder than ever to call you one of our own. Thank you.
Councillor Truman.
Lord Lieutenant, High Sheriff, Mr Mayor, honoured guests. I seem to have known Paul Callahan forever. And I remember back when Councillor Mordy, Councillor Spedding, the late Paul Watson and myself were starting on the development, needing investment for this city, and we're seeing the stuff now which has come to fruition. This building, Spire Bridge, the footpath, and of course the great fire station. And I remember often popping down with Mel Spedding to see the fire station, and I was fascinated by the fact that he could press a button and all the seats used to park themselves under the stage. And I think my first concert there was the Sunderland Symphonic Orchestra, and Mark Greenfield does a lot with those, and his son's a member of that. And I'm sure that there was that orchestra and that sound effect that's created there when you explained about the panels moving was absolutely phenomenal. And I've been to many more after that. I remember back in around 2017, Sunderland decided to go for the City of Culture. I was asked would I represent the council, and we got together with John and university colleagues and Paul, and we had to practice our little bit. So I had my speech, put in the political bit, and we met often and practiced and got ready for the panel interview. And we got through and we went down to Hull to around about 2017. Went down to Hull for to win it. So we went down there in the lovely venue, and the camera crew said, we want you all outside to have a bit of practice. Absolutely freezing, stand outside. We were there an hour, and we thought we'd get an opportunity to go back in, have a coffee, and warm up. The announcement was made, the ministers arrived with the golden envelope. Obviously had the winner inside. I don't know who the minister was, but he was the most miserable guy I've ever come across. He walked round, he stood there and he opened the envelope, and just before that, the practice was whoever wins shouts and cheers, jumps about and runs about like lunatics. We happened to be standing next to Coventry, and of course they opened the envelope and the winner is Coventry. Silence. What seemed like forever. So we're nudging Coventry saying, you've won. And then they start running about like lunatics with their hands in the air. So we then went on for pies and peas in a venue. And the pies were supposed to be the best in the area. And they were absolutely were. They were great. But the little thing that got my, I wouldn't not say got me back up, but the minister come round and tapped us on the shoulder because he was mingling. Might have been election time, I can't remember. And anyway, he said, you just missed it by that. You just... And I thought, that's just made my day. But anyway, Paul, absolutely great what you've achieved. You know, it's not just the auditorium, it's not just what we've got now in Keele Square, which is spoken about as the venue to come to rather than go to Newcastle. But thank you very much, Paul. You deserve everything you get in this honour. I fully support it. And thank you very much for your friendship. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Truman. Paul, I'd like to add to the sentiments of my colleagues. I completely agree. You're an extraordinary gentleman. I've met you many times because each time I meet you, you're wearing a different hat. One day you're a DL, one day you're doing your charitable endeavours, one day you're a super football fan. But today I've heard it. I didn't know you were the chairs of all of these different organisations. So you're truly an amazing individual. Does council agree to admit Paul Callahan as an honorary freeman of the city? Agreed. I declare the motion carried, and I invite Mr. Callahan to sign the freeman's roll. Mr. Callahan, would you like to join me? Congratulations. I welcome you to the role of honorary freeman of the city. Mr. Callahan, I would like to invite you to reply.
Lord Lieutenant, High Sheriff, Mr. Mayor, honoured guests. I'd like to start by offering my heartfelt congratulations to Sister Mary. Her lifelong dedication to the people of Sunderland has profoundly touched so many lives.
and I thank her for all she's done over the decades. It's a privilege to be with her today at this ceremony. When I was chair of the university, I was sometimes asked to give a speech at graduation ceremonies. And I would tell the graduates that the average person lives about 30,000 days. And some of those days are good days, and some of those days are not so good days. But there's only a handful, a few days that are exceptional days, days that you will remember all your life. And today, for me, this is one of those exceptional days. I thank you for this amazing honor. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful. You know, they say some people are born lucky, and I'm one of them. I was fortunate to be born about a mile from here in Sunderland General Hospital, as was, now the Royal. And my parents were wonderful people, wonderful people. My mum was from Silksworth, my dad was from Penshaw, and they gave my 3 siblings, who are all here today, and myself, a special upbringing in a household that encouraged hard work and ambition, celebrated success, and forgave our mistakes. It was in our home on Leighton Road, opposite the Eye Infirmary, that my moral compass was set. I was very close to my dad. I remember him saying to me, "Don't judge a person by what they take from society, but what they contribute." Ours was a family that believed in community, and we celebrated where we came from. My dad used to use an expression that was, I think, reasonably common in the 50s and the 60s. I don't hear it so often now. I've even got a Guardian article with it as the headline. And it says, "If London wasn't London, Sunderland would be." I can see a few of the older heads nodding in recognition of that. It was one of my dad's favourite phrases. I grew up with really close friends. You know, friendships that have lasted a lifetime. We used to sit together at St Aidan's and now sit next to each other at the Stadium of Light. It's a bit more comfortable, John. Friendships are important, and growing up's important. And I was very involved in what was happening in Sunderland at the time. I really loved the place. And while I went off to university, as they said, to London, many of my contemporaries believed that they had to leave the region to further their careers, and they didn't come back. I always thought that home was where the heart is, and I wanted to come back when I got the chance to do that. I've come to believe that great places are built on 3 pillars: a strong economy, good education for all, and a vibrant culture. And it's in those 3 areas that I've sought to be involved. I've been very lucky in business with the Leighton Group companies because I've worked with the 2 cleverest and most decent people I know, who just happen to be my brothers. We've built our own businesses and helped others to do the same. I worked with brilliant people at Business Link and at One North East. People who cared about the region, who wanted it to succeed. And I remember almost 20 years ago now, standing in the old council chamber, explaining to a full council why we should create Sunderland Software City. A councillor asked, this is true, a councillor, the question was, "Do you think my daughter might someday work in a software company?" And I, of course, answered, yes, if we can create those opportunities. And that's what it's been about, creating opportunities. And it's so positive today to see that we're not only still a software city, we're also now a smart city. Congratulations to the council for achieving that. In education, I was proud to chair our university for a decade, working with brilliant colleagues to help steer the institution from being a post-92 former poly to becoming the great civic university that it is today. One of the defining moments of my life occurred around 20 years ago. I was at a formal dinner, and I was going to the loo, actually, and Bob Simmons stopped me. Now, Bob Simmons was leader of the council, a great man, a man I liked and admired. And he approached me, he says, Paul, we have a problem. Can you come in and see me? I had no idea what the problem was, but it turned out that to secure over £100 million of government grants through the Building Schools for the Future, Sunderland needed to establish 3 secondary academies. And I was asked to be the sponsor for Red House. Red House was a tough school. For the next 10 years, I was privileged to work with an exceptional head teacher and to recognize the power of a good education for everyone, regardless of their background. That period has profoundly influenced how I see the world. Finally, I became involved in culture, something I'd loved all my life, and I recognized that it could become the catalyst for the city's urban regeneration. With the help and support of outstanding fellow trustees, Sunderland Council, Arts Council, Heritage Lottery, and trusts and foundations, I'm delighted that we've been able to bring culture, participation, and entertainment to so many people through the Mac Trust, the Cultural Spring, Sunderland Culture, Culture Quarter, and now Sunderland Music City. I think this city's moved through 3 stages over the last 15 years or so. 15 years ago, I had the prevailing feeling that the city was one of hope. Hope that things would happen, hope that things would change, but not expectation. People always seemed to be looking to the past. They talked about how great the city was in the 60s or the 70s or the 80s, nightlife and how the shops were busy. But as things started to change, new buildings appeared, culture came back to the city, and that hope changed to belief. And you could almost taste it. You could taste that people started to believe again in this city. And you know, belief is a really powerful catalyst because it feeds ambition. And that's what I see in this city now. We've gone from hope to belief to ambition. The ambition to be a great place, to bring up your family here. And I hope I've played a small part in this transformation. Of course, none of this could have happened over the last 15 years without my wonderful wife, Dorothy. She stood beside me through every daft idea, every half-baked project, and more than a few slightly mad schemes. And somehow, she still lets me have a go at the next one. I've actually written a pantomime for later on tonight, believe me. I was printing it off at 5 to 5. I'm exceptionally proud of my children and my grandchildren. Both my sons are here. All of whom, all my grandchildren, are given a red and white baby grower when they're born and a season ticket for the Stadium of Light when they reach the age of 4. The new bridge has made my trips from lunch at the fire station to the stadium with a granddaughter on each arm much easier, believe me. When we started the Music City project, we appointed 2 great Sunderland musicians, Frankie Francis and Marty Longstaff. And one of my favourites of Marty's songs is Shipyards, about his grandfather. It carries the line, I hope that I'm making you proud. I hope that I'm making you proud. And as I stand here today, I know that my mum and dad would have been so proud. So proud. My granddad, I was very close to my granddad. He was a pitman from Silksworth, who was a volunteer fireman in the Second World War. He was the first person who ever took me into the fire station at the age of 4. He would have loved it. He spent his later years in Grangetown, and I can just picture him sitting in Grangetown Working Men's Club saying, "You wouldn't believe what they're giving to our Paul." But it's true. But when I look back at my family tree, when I look back at my ancestors, I see my forefathers and mothers coming on small boats from Ireland in 1850, escaping a dreadful famine, like so many families who arrived on these shores, not looking for adventure, but looking for survival. Sunderland gave them something priceless, a chance. And over time, that chance became a life. But the story of Sunderland has never been just one story. This city's always been a place where people arrived from somewhere else and became part of something bigger. Jewish families fleeing the pogroms of Eastern Europe came here seeking sanctuary. People from across Europe came to work with us and to feed us. Families arrived from Hong Kong, India, Pakistan, Africa, and the Caribbean to help this city grow, help it to build. And over time, something remarkable happens in Sunderland. People come strangers, then they become neighbours, and then they become friends, irrespective of political affiliation, gender, age, race, or religion. They become part of our community, proud of our history and our heritage, but looking forward to a future for our city that will be dynamic, fair, inclusive, cultured, and prosperous. As I said earlier, what I learned at Red House has led me to believe that every child born in this city and every person who chooses to live in our city should have the opportunity to reach their full potential, and that we, as a community, have a duty and a responsibility to ensure that each and every one of them has that chance. I believe that this city has the talent, the commitment, the energy, and the drive to succeed, and that such qualities will be harnessed by people with good hearts and keen minds. This city's future will be based on creativity, on innovation, entrepreneurship, and partnership. And we'll seek to make Sunderland a city where talent wants to live. While we have magnificent beaches and beautiful parks and buildings, it's the people of this great city that make it what it is. So whether your name is Callahan or Kelly, Perlman or Cohen, Notriani or Muller, Hussein or Hack, we are Sunderland. Thank you for this exceptional honor.
Thank you, Mr. Paul Callahan. Lord Lieutenant, High Sheriff, honourable guests and councillors, that concludes the business of the meeting. I would like to thank you for your attendance on this special occasion. I would be pleased if invited guests could please join me for refreshments in the foyer.